Another Copa del Rey match for Barcelona and another win. You know, I don't like to get over emotional with these match reviews, so I'm going to start all the way in the beginning, and then I'm going to work my way up into the fever that was happening in my living room today. Let's start with the lineup. It was the same as the weekend, but what would be the tactical nuance? That was obviously the question. But I don't necessarily mean from Barca. I mean from Sevilla. For starters, Lopetegui made 6 changes to his lineup, and Nasiri came in, as did Oliver Torres, who is a bit more youthful than Rakitic, and I think just an all-around better player at the moment, though I'm not sure if he's quicker or more mobile like people were saying. Sousa was on the right, Acuna was at left back, who returned after a month on the sideline, Alex Vidal was at right back, and Vaclav even took the spot of Bono in net. And Campos was able to make the bench, and we'd see him later in the match. The one surprise for Barca was not that Pedri was starting, but that Pedri was fit at all and was able to play in this match. The big difference tactically from Lopetegui was playing a high press. And why not? Force a Barca back line that have made quite a few mistakes this season in possession to beat you out of the back and not allow Barca to play vertically as they did over the weekend. The first good opportunity though, as Barcelona started with a bit of hunger and fight, Messi leads Dest, who crosses low and hard, and neither De Jong nor Dembele can get a shot off. Dembele does get a shot off a few seconds later though, too strong on that one. Early indications were that Dest was going to have a lot of room on that right side, and that didn't really change. Chances came early and often for Barcelona. De Jong, Dembele, Lenglet, and again, plenty of Dest on that right wing. Dembele was absolutely buzzing to start this game. Battling with Koundé to keep possession, this is what leads to the first goal. It comes back to him outside of the box, and you know, I think we tend to overuse the term golazo in English, but that was a freaking golazo. I have no idea why Sevilla defenders backed off him in that situation, but at the highest level, you can't fall asleep like that, and that is a discredit to that Sevilla defense. And what created that chance? Dest again with space on the right. Messi was also overloading that right side, and Sevilla obviously having to choose between Dest and Messi, they choose to deal with Dest one-on-one and always make sure Messi has at least 2 guys around him. The problem for Dest was that he couldn't get past Acuna again and again and again with that step-around move. And I think for Dest, he seemed healthy, he seemed fit. I thought he was livelier than he's been since he's returned. But trying the same thing over and over and over again wasn't working for him today. And it was, I think, a frustrating one for the American, though the importance that he brought to the width and his positioning would come back to help Barcelona later. Pedri, I guess I'll talk about him here. I could talk about him at the end, talk about him here. For a guy that was supposed to be injured, and you could say it was misdiagnosed, his ball recoveries in this were 10 of 10. As I do with my numbers, I only really mention it when I give a guy a 10 of 10. I don't necessarily give Pedri a 10 of 10 on the match as far as his performance, but his ball recoveries were vital in that first half to keep putting Barca on the front foot. I had spoken about, whether it was on Twitch, whether it was on the podcast, that not only winning the aerial duels, but picking up that second ball and making sure that you're constantly applying pressure when you lose the ball is how Barca were able to stay on the front foot on the weekend, and they did exactly the same thing here, even though Sevilla was trying something different with their tactics. 31st minute, nice build-up from Barca. Messi to Alba and De Jong was crashing, but couldn't get there in time. Barca still closer, though, at that moment to their second than Sevilla to their first. A few moments later was a long shot from Pedri that went wide. Then Messi dribbling inside the box at a wide angle. Acuna saving the deflection off the line. Yeah, there was a little bit of nerves at that moment thinking, are Barca going to have too many chances and not finish? If Barca didn't need that extra goal to tie it up, though, you would have been able to enjoy the defensive effort and discipline from the Blaugrana. 5 minutes before halftime, Dembele ran 70 yards to support Piqué, who is trying his best to come back to defend Alex Vidal on the counterattack, but way too slow. And to see Dembele have that fight, have that desire, this was a team effort today. Yeah, I'm already getting a little excited, and Barca haven't even scored their second yet. We're getting there. First half, 63 possession for Barcelona. The heat map was a 2-3-2-3, with Dest alongside Dembele and Messi up top, Alba actually staying at home beside Busquets and Mingueza on the other side. And having Alba staying disciplined in this match, really, really important as well. As much as we don't think of too many Alba moments until late in that second half or extra time, Alba's defensive positioning, rock solid to build the base of what would become a game that Barcelona dominated from start to finish. Start the second half, so be a little bit of fight, sure. 53rd minute, you get some changes too. 3 changes to be exact. Rakitic, and Jesus Navas in for Luke de Jong, Vidal, and Acuna. 62nd minute, Ocampos for Torres and Griezmann for Dest, which makes sense heat map-wise. Dembele out to the right, Griezmann in front of Messi and Dest coming off, as I mentioned. 67th minute, Alba off the crossbar. What a chance, again a chance. It was Dembele lofting it into the box. And this was the moment, I think the one true moment of doubt. 71st minute, now obviously yes, this would have been a difference in a tie, but having just come off that Alba shot off the crossbar in the 71st minute when Mingueza brings down Ocampos, who was a step in the box, and I mean, this one, there's no debate here. This is a penalty kick. Ter Stegen, I mean, you can speak down maybe a little bit in the comments here. Apparently, there's a contingent of Kool-Aids that are out on Ter Stegen and think he should be sold and they're done with him at the club. Not only have I not really seen too much of that until today when people were fighting the other side of it that he belongs at Barcelona, but I don't understand that at all. Ter Stegen so many times over the last few seasons have kept Barcelona in these matches. And again tonight, keeps them alive by guessing right. There had to be, at that moment though, that extra bit of belief. And I'll get to that in a minute. 78th minute, ES Moriba and Junior for Sergio Busquets and Oscar Mingueza. Papu Gomez also on for Sevilla. I talked about ES Moriba after the weekend match against Sevilla, and those sentiments continued. He has shown the player that he is able to be at Barca B, and when his teammates have improved around him at Barcelona, again, no disservice to the Barca B players, but playing with the first team, his teammates are even better, and those are amplifying the things that ES Moriba does well. He fights for balls, he wins aerial duels, not all of them, but enough of them. He has a positional sense that is absolutely divine. It is clearly evident when you watch this player in the same way with Puig or Messi, Xavi, you can name all of them. Even the ones farther down the list in Carlos Alenya. There's something about academy products who can break into the Barca first team, and he has all the evidence that this is a player that has spent years in the academy, that fully understands how to play in, when I say this system, I mean a system that is built with Sergio Busquets and Messi and Piqué and players that have been there and been a part of this Barca team for a long, long time. And so him fitting in as comfortably as he did, again, I'm not going to talk about him too much, but his spacing, as far as stretching wide when he need to, winning the battle in the middle of the field when he needed to, superb from ES Moriba. The pace of the game, however, did slow down when Griezmann came in. Not necessarily anything he did wrong, but rather Sevilla really sitting back at this point, holding on to that 1-0. About 10 minutes remaining plus extra time, there was another shout for a handball. I don't understand how that's not a handball on a Campos. I guess I get it, and there was also criticism that Pedri should have got the shot off earlier and not just dinked it over to Messi, but hey, what are you going to do? 89th minute, Pedri comes out, and Dembélé also is removed for Braithwaite and Trincao. I was a little worried here because it felt like it could have been time wasting against Barcelona. They were taking their own time off the clock, and there just wouldn't be enough opportunities at that moment. Late on, second yellow for Fernando, who took his grand old time coming off the field. And again, I thought it was a little bit too late to be able to capitalize on that extra man unless they were able to come back. It was all Barcelona late, of course. Sevilla desperately hanging on. It was certainly Barcelona with the mental edge, with the belief that they could tie this up. Piqué sitting up as a striker for about the last 6-7 minutes of this match. Junior Firpo, position-wise, also playing in front of Trincao to constantly be another bigger body in that box. And then Griezmann fakes a man out of his shoes, and Sevilla definitely missing Fernando on this ball sent back in. And the header, the finish by who else but Gerard Piqué. He's had plenty of criticism, especially after PSG. A lot of Kool-Aids out on him, but he made his keep today. So what was the game plan going to be in extra time? With Barca up a man. And by the way, Barca with their 5th extra time this season for the first time in club history. Real Sociedad and Athletic Club in the Super Cup, and then Cornellà, Granada, and Sevilla in the Copa del Rey. Tired legs could certainly be a factor, and I actually think that's what happened in the first leg. It was tired legs for Barcelona. In extra time, though, of this one, these legs were healthy, and these legs, that being Barca's, were ready to go with the extra man. Junior Firpo so close to a ball that was lofted in by Messi. Sevilla in a 5-4 at that moment. Obviously, didn't have that one up top. And Junior Firpo getting another shot a few moments later. 3-0, I've already spoken about ES Moriba, goes to collect the ball on a half-hearted clear, sets himself, surveys the field, sends it over to Lenglet, gives it to Alba, and an Alba cross in for Braithwaite, getting right in between Koundé and Diego Carlos, who absolutely fall asleep. We saw Diego Carlos have trouble in the first 45 minutes against Barcelona, and in the first extra time, he ran out of gas. Once again, Lopetegui saw it on Saturday, but Diego Carlos had to stay in this one, and Braithwaite made the run and finished between Koundé and Diego Carlos. But this season is this season, so nothing does come easy. VAR says no handball against Lenglet because it went off his chest. Thank goodness for this one. I felt like the narrative was supposed to go a certain way, and this not being a penalty for Sevilla means the narrative gets to stay this way. Piqué did look like he injured himself in the second half extra time. Didn't look good, but he did finish the match, so that might be a positive sign. And Dembélé, we saw go off. He might have a calf injury. We'll see what happens there. Trincao getting a shot blocked, though. It was still nervy. Every moment in that second overtime, a reminder that this could be taken away from Kool-Aids in a second. But the word that I keep coming back to in this match, from start to finish, now that we've seen the whole picture, and sure, maybe it's just the narrative trying to say this, but this felt inevitable. And I think you understand what I mean when we think of those big matches, quote-unquote big matches that Barcelona have had recently, obviously in the Champions League more so than any other, but even in La Liga, it's always felt inevitable that if Barca go down a goal or go down 2 goals, that they just aren't going to have enough to come back. But from that first goal was scored, you felt a weird calm. At least I did. I felt a weird calm because Barca were coming back again in the Copa del Rey this season, something they have done. It felt familiar. when I think about Granada and all those feelings there. And that's why I keep coming back to the word inevitable. That's how it feels in football when you're watching a match, when the result feels like it can only go one way, when one team is just dominating another team. They're the only ones getting chances. They're the only ones getting opportunities. And that was Barcelona today. You can see what this means to Messi, to the players, to the veterans. I haven't said his name yet other than the beginning. But Koeman, for the second straight match in a row now, has got it right. And you have to say, since 2021 began, Ronald Koeman has not maybe. He has been the best manager in Spain. Barcelona have the most points in La Liga since 2021 started. Barcelona have now moved on to the final of the Copa del Rey that has taken place in the last 2 months when there were plenty of matches. He got PSG way wrong. Barcelona did not have the talent against PSG. They didn't have the fight that was also required to be the underdogs in that situation. He got that one wrong, and he got the first leg of this match wrong as well. Even if Barcelona don't come back against PSG, what Koeman has done since 2021 started makes him deserving of quite a lot of credit. You can still question, is he the man for the long-term future of Barcelona? Is it going to be revisited? He's the man even for next season. But for now, not only does he deserve to finish out the rest of this season, but you really have to ask that question if you're doubting Koeman at the moment. We're going to have a new president in 4 days, so this is a great week that keeps on coming. And it's not going to be surprising at all if that new president, most likely Laporta, immediately comes in with a lot of institutional faith for Koeman. Not only is it the right thing to say, but Koeman actually deserves that institutional faith at the moment. So Cool Days, once again, we get to celebrate a remontada, a comeback, again against Sevilla, now twice in 4 seasons. And that means that Barcelona will face Levante or Athletic Club in the Copa del Rey final. I'm going to see you before that, but until then, Forza Barça.